Welcome again to this conversation about the person of Rema, as we have looked at him before in the past when he was said to be a devil worshipper. Oh yes, I got a lot of feedback from that video which I found really interesting, but today we are going a step further based on a recent visual of Rema as he has released for his upcoming single. Now, since after the video I made last time looking at the allegations against him by, of course, Christians and majority people from Ethiopia whom I respect so much, as they called him a devil worshipper based on his necklace which depicted some form of Christian signs, and of course other things I got to look at with respect to the visuals for the necklace itself with the checkerboard and everything that has to do with Illuminati connotations. Of course, you know that Illuminati is real. Now, Rema, from that time, that story about what happened in Ethiopia didn't stop Rema from winning even more awards after then. But what is happening today? The reason why this video has to do with two subjects, of which are Nigerians, is because I want you to try to be more realistic than religious. Listen to my choice of words carefully, because however I get to see these situations will tell me a whole lot how your mindset actually functions. Let's look at Rema first, because he's the elephant in the room. Rema. Recently, Rema has released a visual of his single, reposted and shared by many other artists, of course, to support it. And the visuals look very interesting. Now, of course, I'm seeing something different from what I had seen before in the visuals of his necklace, which he explained to not be what everyone thinks it is. Of course, many Christians did not believe it and think that Rema himself has gone AWOL with respect to Illuminati connotations, from the wings to the skeleton, which of course we know from our other video what I talked about its representation. Now, of course, the sound itself sounds very trendy with the beat, which I do understand the mixture of most of them, and I think this song itself might get to do well. Now, reading through the comments, I wasn't surprised with what I saw, especially on 𝐷𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's page when he reposted that particular visuals. Now, it's not the main music video, but it's just more like a teaser. And what is the main goal? You always have to understand this. You know, most of you are consumers on social media and probably have never been producers. The reason why you post on social media, whether you post a picture, a video, or whatever text or anything you just post on social media, one thing you need, one thing that is your drive, at least to an extent, even if you don't know, is attention. Probably you want to see what people think about it. And if you tell me you are posting to save your files on the internet, probably you should keep them private. So what point am I making here? For every musician, for every person that is in the creative space, whether you are a pastor, president, musician, whatever you are, so far as you are existing in the social media sphere, one thing you need when you get to put out whatever you do or anything about yourself is attention. And Rema, in a way, kind of knows how to get that attention, whether it is based on fact that he is actually in the Illuminati, or would I say involved in some occultic, devilish, whatever, or whether it's just for the attention. Because if you remember his interview of what he said when he was asked about the necklace, think about this.
The artwork. Yeah. But I did that on purpose though, so that people start actually paying attention to these pieces, because we work so hard to create this artwork. We study and we think really deep and go so hard in the detailing. Right. So the fact that we do things to catch people's attention, and people are just like arguing about it. Now we finally got the attention. Because it's a lot of times people just want to do photo shoots and just drop the music, but this is I want to touch every part of this artistry. I want people to tap in with every part of the artistry. So now people actually care. Now I will now care enough to start explaining them.
Very good. So one thing he's liking right now is that people are actually paying attention to him, which is the main goal. Come on. If people are not talking about you, are you even in the waves? That's why when it comes to Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Davido, they're always in the waves because they have a community, and for some reason, there's always something to talk about them. And that is how every person in the creative space thrives. Why am I even saying all this? Because I want you to also understand what we understand.
Kiss Arasta, married Doja Cat, Pastor Mary. I'm sorry,
Rema is very intentional with his visuals. It's either you listen to the music without even knowing what it looks like and what he tries to paint for you in the visuals, or you just like I told you last time, the people who consume all this music, Afrobeats, Rema, Davido, Wizkid, Burna Boy, are Christians who are watching me right now. So I just wonder to myself sometimes, going through the comments and seeing people calling him out for devilish allegiance and all that. For you to be having that connotation, which I respect your opinions anyway, what are you doing in his space and why are you even following him? I think that's a question you need to really do ask yourself. If you hate someone so much, you hate what they do so much, you have relegated them to be quote unquote worldly, devilish, and what have you, yet you follow them, you consume what they put out, who are you deceiving? Rema is very versatile from my observation, from singing with Fade in Spanish, from going as far as singing with 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸. And you'll be wondering to yourself, how far is he gonna go with his music career? I think a lot far. Now, I must say sorry to those who don't even understand what I'm talking about, because probably this is not a genre, or would I say an area of commentary you would be expecting from me. But of course, to the new audience who are very in tune with what I'm talking about, you know exactly what I mean. Moving on. So what connection am I making with the person of Rema and Victor Thompson? Now, Victor Thompson, on the other hand, is seen to be a gospel artist. Now, I don't know if he's going to call himself like that, because when I look at his profile both on YouTube and on Instagram, I don't know if I would say it that way based on what he tags himself to be. But of course, in his conversations and based on the records he puts out, to a great extent, his songs is appealing to the Christian audience, especially with his hit song This Year, which I think did very good. Victor Thompson has an amazing voice as an artist, sings very good when it comes to Christian songs, and of course, being someone that was once in The Voice Nigeria.
Has it always been God in the music for you? I know you did, was it The Voice Nigeria 2017, your first single 2018? Was it always the gospel for you?
It's always been the good news. It's always been the gospel. Because right from the outset, it's been God. I don't have any story to share without saying, but God. I can't put my sentences together, how my life is transforming, without saying God did. It's been Jesus Christ, it's been God all my life. And so the messages I have to share cannot be different. It's out of your belly flows. What I have inside of me is the experience, the communion. God's shown me his love times and time again. I am a recipient. I am an ambassador of God's love. And that's what I have to share to the world.
Indeed, he is very, very good. Now, let me ask you a question. If Victor Thompson today is having collaborations, in fact, his brother, would I say, his new brother now is Gunna. Of course, if you know the American artist Gunna, with his affiliations with Young Thug, and why he's even called a snitch or something, which almost led him to being in prison, but of course he got a plea deal. I'm sorry you still don't understand what I'm talking about to my Nigerian audience who don't follow what happens in the music scene. This same person is the one that he featured, or would I say he collaborated with, on his hit song This Year. But him being on the same stage with a hip-hop artist, whom of course if you look at his antecedents of the videos he gets to make and his music videos and all that, I don't think after looking at his collaboration with Gunna and going back to watch Gunna, you wonder to yourself, how come this person is his brother, and how can these two people align to be able to put out a record together? And that particular video or collaboration, I would say, has bagged over 2.5 million views on Victor Thompson's page. So the question is the attention really currency? And my answer is yes, of course. So whether you were Christian calling Rema a devil worshipper, Illuminati, based on the obvious visuals he gets to put out to you, when you think about someone like Victor Thompson, who is, of course, loved and revered by you as a Christian artist, working on a record, his own record, not as if it's Gunna's record, working on his record with a hip-hop artist whom many would say has sold his soul. Of course, you can't even put them on the same pegging when it comes to the kind of music they do. I wonder what you would say about that. So I went through the comment section of the same video and I saw my dear wonderful Christians giving accolades and very, very proud of Victor Thompson. Probably the same people would be the ones to bash at someone like Rema, whom you would think I'm defending right now. But of course, I leave it to your opinions on his visuals, or would I say his style of music as he does it. Now, from all the accolades I saw on Victor Thompson's page with respect to his video with Ghana, there's this particular one that stuck out, and this is what she had to say. I am not surprised my comment got taken down, but I'll say this again. Light and darkness do not mix. You have an anointing that Satan wants to destroy, and he will use fame and wealth to entice you. Please don't be deceived. There is nothing wrong with sharing God's love with those who need it, but this isn't the way to do it. Even as I played the song, I felt very uneasy, and I am very sensitive to things spiritually. Be careful and please don't get caught up. God bless. So apparently, some Christians are wondering what could be the situation with Victor Thompson when he has to collaborate with a hip-hop artist on his own record. I want to know your thoughts on that. While commenting on this in the comments, I want you to be as objective as possible in looking at it. Do you share the same sentiments as the person that commented on the Victor Thompson's page of her concerns with respect to them being together on a record, he's on record? Do you think tomorrow Victor Thompson is gonna switch? Are you open to Victor Thompson collaborating with other hip-hop artists? But if you have watched me long enough, remember what I always say on this platform: relevance by association. Very, very important. Think about it this way. Ghana has over 10 million followers on Instagram, has over 2 million subscribers on YouTube. He has their attention, but that reputation has been built around something which is unique to his person. Now, of course, Victor Thompson himself has also his own audience who love him no matter what. I want to ask you a question, my dear friends, while you're watching, because most of you watching this right now are either Rema's fans, Victor's fans, or probably even the hip-hop artist fan, Ghana. The reason why I'm asking you this question is so you don't be surprised. You see, you have to understand music itself as a business. It's always been that. When we discuss about the gospel music industry and what has been the situation, a lot of people were saying some things in the comments. But now, you see that synergy where gospel artists, like you would put it, are collaborating with people you would call the secular artists and you would probably never have listened to. Think about the audience that Victor Thompson has built over time, who never knew who Ghana was. And now they get to know the person Ghana from Victor Thompson. That is amazing, right? So now they'll go through Ghana's YouTube page. Now with the shared influence, they will become followers of Ghana. Or they'll go to start consuming his songs to know what kind of a person he is. Let me ask you a question. Consuming content from Ghana, understanding his personality, is that really what you would want for yourself? Or who you would want to influence you? Now don't tell me, hey George, you are being judgmental. No, of course I'm not being judgmental. I'm just stating the facts to you. That's why I'm asking you questions that you should answer to yourself. And also think about it in the other way around. Ghana has a lot of influence, a lot of followers. Now the same followers are going to check out Victor Thompson, and what are they going to see? My God, a very godly young man singing wonderful Christian songs, and of course with a very good voice. Can you tell me on whatever scale which of them would have more influence? Because one thing that happens with collaboration is that audience becomes shared. How relevant you are to a great extent has to do with the attention you associate yourself with. You know the pastors I talk about on this platform, not because of them, but because of Jesus. Yes, so Jesus is the one that has the ultimate attention, and everyone is tapping from that attention because they talk about that person. How do you even know being real, George? I'm not the center of attention, no. The center of attention are the people I talk about, which is why you listen to me. What point am I trying to make you understand here? Attention itself is currency. Where the currency is where the attention is. If Victor Thompson sees collaborating with Ghana to be a good deal on the side of the currency or on the side of propagating the good news like he is about, either of these two options will be part of his decision to working with him. Ghana was being himself all through. Probably we shouldn't get to a point where we have Christian artists performing with their shirts off. We see that a lot in the secular world, but let's not bring that to church. But just know that whatever we get to promote as Christians is what our audience would see as acceptable. You are an influence. I am an influence. That's why when it comes to the commentaries we make right here on this platform, we have one principle: facts over sentiments. Face the facts, keep your sentiments aside. Probably you'll be able to make sense of the things you see.